want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Yahweh is the Most High God, and Yahawashi is who the world innately calls Jesus Christ. And I want to give a double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well through spirit, Lord, that they continue to endure and be sincere, and a mighty shalom to the hopeful elect that are scattered four corners of the earth, teaching this word and believing this word in the same spirit, that they endure and be sincere. And shalom to the Akwatiyum that are believers of the faith and this truth, Lord, that you can continue to pursue your lot, which is being a loving and silent and virtuous wife, and endure and be sincere. And Lord, willing to most have mercy on the other brothers and sisters that is not in the faith. You know, it's almost that time. You know, it's almost that time. Babylon haven't failed, but you can see the signs. You know, number one thing that's very important is reading. You know, for the men, especially the men, the women, right, on your downtime when you might feel bored, right, because this ministry it consists of women too, you know, and you want to work on your faith too when you might feel alone, when you might feel bored, right? Especially if you have a man that's being diligent, you want to work on your faith too. You know, you might read chapters, you might go into the history. It might come a time where you might be reading and you might be stuck somewhere. That's where your husband or the men of the Lord, for the single sisters, that can give you the understanding that you need. But it's all the Lord. Man's going to the Lord. And when you have children, what we see in the scriptures, that we should be teaching our kids the testimonies of the Lord to the best of our ability. When it's something that we don't know, we don't want to rush and teach it because we don't want to lead anybody astray, especially the men. You know, the men should be reading. You know, they should be knowing the Lord. They should be seeking his face. So what brought me to this is Jeremiah, the 29th chapter, in verse 13. And I'm going to get some cross-reference, you know, verses that line up with it. But this is Jeremiah chapter 29 in verse 13. It says, "Ye shall seek me and find me, when ye shall search for me with all your heart." With all our mind, we should be searching the Lord. You know, I'm about to get a side preset. You know, with all your heart, you should be searching the Lord. I'm gonna get a classic that's in the gospel, Matthew the 4th chapter, verse 4. "But he answered and said, It is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God." You know, we got time in this captivity to read, man. You know, Revelations 1 and 3, blessed is he that readeth. You shouldn't push that off. You're going to be blessed if you read, man. When you go back to Jeremiah, it says, "Ye shall seek me and find me." I went to, I think it was Psalms 119, I think the first verse. Let me check. Let me make sure before I quote it, and I could be incorrect. Yes, the first verse say, "Blessed are the undefiled in the way, who walk in the law of the Lord Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi." In verse 2 is the point. Blessed are they that keep his testimonies, right? His records, his reports, like through the prophets, the apostles, the elders, the evangelists, and even himself, Yahawashi, and take that and that seek him with a whole heart, right? The ones that seek the Lord with a whole heart, with your whole mind, right? You're going to be blessed, right? Even more, how to seek the Lord is seeking the prophets, right? Learning under the feet of the men of the Lord. You got Deuteronomy chapter 4 in verse 29 and 31. It says, "But if from thence thou shalt seek the Lord Yahweh thy power, thou shalt find him." It's like hide and seek. You have to seek what you're looking for, right? "If we knock, it shall be open. If you ask, it'll be given to you." It says, "If thou seek him with all thy heart and with all thy soul." You know, this is encouraging for myself. Even if I am doing it, you don't want to feel like you did enough. We're still filthy servants, still being in this flesh. You still got other things that you might want to go do, but we want to make our call and election sure on this side, right? And when you're searching the Lord, you're making your call and election sure. To line with the video I did earlier, what you don't see is greater than what you do see. This is why we seek the Lord with all our soul, because we know that he's greater than the things that we see. Yes, I want more money. I want to be able to make sure my household is good. But at the end of the day, I know what's way more, the kingdom, right? Let me stop right there, and let's go to this other classic in the gospel, Matthew 6:33. It says, but seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. How can we seek the kingdom? Everybody say it's within you, right? It is. But all the things of old is not in remembrance, right? You got to go to the classics, right, to encourage you to still be humbled in this thing. You know, I don't remember everything in these scriptures. You know, through the Spirit, I can be eloquent, but I'm still not the mightiest man. Sometimes I mess up in words, right? I can't remember everything, you know. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 9. And the things that have been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. Is there anything there whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It have been already of old, which was before us. There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. Right? This is why we read it more, so we can remember, right? Romans 15:4, those things was written for our learning. And sometimes if you try to master remembering it, and then you're not applying it in your life, and you want to hurry up and teach it, we sound like a hypocrite, because we're teaching, but we're not doing it. You know, you want to, and while we still have the chance to read, right, even during tribulation, you know, this is to build you up in your faith every day. Sometimes, like, I'm out of the weather, you know, I got a little cold, so I might not be as you know, on it like I normally do, you know, because of my nose. But that's no excuse, you know. I still have to give it, even if I cough, even if my nose runny. I'm gonna try to hold it to the best of my ability, because this right here is life, you know. And it's somebody that could be dealing with something else. Somebody might be so angry and they don't know what to do, but they could come across this lesson. We all going through something, but sometimes something, it might not get fixed right away. So what you do is you call on the Lord. Sometimes praying and let go and let God, let Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi deal with it, you know. And I've been working on it, been working on my attitude where certain things, okay, you might not understand what the heck I just said. You know what, I'm gonna let that, I'm gonna do a woosah, and I'm gonna put my mind somewhere else. So even at work, I might not want to be here, you know, but I'm gonna be out of here in the spirit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna listen to the word the whole time I'm at work, and it might encourage me to do a lesson, you know. Some things I might be talking about because the elder was talking about reading, you know. He was talking about, I might sound eloquent, but shoot, I'll be forgetting things. And I just quoted that because in the same, you might be, I'm trying to help people to know you should be reading, you know. You got one brother saying, the people saying that we came on slave ships. Everybody didn't come on slave ships. We was already here. But he's not giving you no knowledge in the scriptures. If they don't speak out of these words, man, we shouldn't be listening to people that just want to jibber jabber, right? Let's get that, because I just said if they're not bringing out the scriptures. This is Isaiah chapter 8 verse 20. To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them, right? We have to speak according to the word. If we're dealing with a chapter, we're getting precepts that line with that chapter. If we're doing a breakdown, it could be the MOTB, it could be Jacob's Trouble. We're going to go into different chapters, here a little, there a little, different precepts to back up that understanding that Jacob's Trouble, right? And we have to speak the words that's in these scriptures, right? So back to Deuteronomy chapter 4 and reading verse 30, it says, when thou art in tribulation and all these things are come upon thee, even in the later days, if thou turn to the Lord Yahawah thy power, it shall be obedient to his voice, right? How can we be obedient to his voice? What is his voice? The Lord is working through us in many ways, but first, you know, this is why you have to know the things that you can't see is greater than the things that you can see. The Lord is moving the prophets. This is Hebrews chapter 1 verse 1. God, who has sundry times and diverse manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets. I already read Ecclesiastes chapter 1. Ain't nothing new under the sun. So the Lord is doing the same cycle again, right? I'll go on my other Bible app because I don't want to mess up where we at. So I'm gonna go to Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 15 in the NLT. It says, what is happening now has happened before, and what will happen in the future has happened before, because God makes the same things happen over and over again. It doesn't matter if it's war, famine, pestilence, right, or destruction. And even what happened before, the prophets was prophesying the things that's going to come. So that means whatever happened before prophets prophesying, they're going to do it again, right? Let's go to another classic in this, where brothers bring out fluently. Jeremiah chapter 28 verse 8. It says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesy both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. So that means the prophets of today is going to do the same thing they did back then, because it ain't nothing new under the sun. You know, through the Spirit, the men of the Lord, right, the true believers, right, they have a job on this side under the order of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. They have a sanction in the Spirit. You know, man's going to the Lord. If it's causing brothers to leave their old ways and start, that was not them. It was all the Lord. If brothers left their old ways and they was walking in this thing, and now they got boastful, now they got prideful, now they want to teach something new, they not understanding that they enter into other men's labors, the Lord is bringing back the false prophets, the prideful prophets, the lazy prophets, right? This is why you want to seek the Lord with all your heart, so that you can know what pleased the Lord and what doesn't. Now, Deuteronomy 4:31, for the Lord Yahweh thy power is a merciful God. He will not forsake thee, neither destroy thee, nor forget the covenant of thy fathers, which he swore unto them. Right? So we have to know, even though this lesson not going to be too long, when you go into Deuteronomy, for the beginning chapter, Moses was speaking to the children of Israel. There's a lot of people that don't want to deal with the old and say the law is done away with. Then you're taking away from Deuteronomy 18, which actually deal with Yahawashi. When you go to Luke 24 verse 44, Yahawashi says, you know, all the things that the law, the prophets, in the Psalms, right, that was dealing with him, has to be fulfilled. And there's certain prophecies that haven't been fulfilled, that was in the law, that's in the prophets, that's in the Psalms. You know, so we have to understand that these scriptures is only dealing with the children of Israel. That's the best untold story on this side, but the Lord is increasing his knowledge, where brothers is bringing that back, you know, because Christianity is the top religion on the earth, you know, and then you got the Islam and all that other stuff, but this truth was hidden. The Lord put that breath of life in us after that physical captivity over here, the translated slave, right? And now this is the shortest teaching, you know, out of all the other ones on this side. So why the Lord haven't came back during the time of Christianity been taught for years and thousands of years in the Islam fake religion, right? Because though that is not the truth, you know. So I'm not here to force anybody to believe in anything me and my brothers and the elder apostles and the elect men is teaching on this side, you know, but the true believers is going to gravitate to it, right? Because going back to this picture, Lord willing, I could do a lesson actually on this. You know, Babylon is going to fall. You don't see it, but with your faith, you must believe, right? So let me get a last scripture, because if I'm showing that, it just goes with this. This is Hebrews chapter 11, verse 6. But without faith is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to the Most High must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. So we should be diligently seeking Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. You're going to get a reward at the end, but you have to believe in what you're reading. You have to believe what you're waiting for, right? Especially talk about your deliverance, the crown, the chariots, right? You have to believe in those things. You have to believe that the Lord is working in the Spirit. You don't see it, but the things that you don't see is greater than the things that you do see. You have to believe in it, because you're not pleasing the Lord if you don't have faith in the things that you don't see. The Lord is working. The angels is working more than the enemy, man. Revelations 12:12. They know that they have a short time, so they got to keep working. But the Lord never stopped working, you know? That's why Yahawashi put down his elect men, the 144,000, through the Spirit, through time and time again, to teach this word, man. You know? So Lord willing, this was edifying to the hopeful elect. And Lord willing, you could continue to search the Lord with all your heart, with all your might, because that's what we're living for. We're living to see the Lord. We're living to have that peace, man. We're living to see the destruction of our enemies, man. Right? This should be your joy, getting in the scriptures or hearing verses, you know, or being patient. Like, oh, I wonder what lesson is coming out next, right? And even teaching your kids should be a delight. Then you see your kids talking about the Lord, 3 years old, 2 years old, 1 year old, 7, 8, 13, 14, 15, however age, that should be your delight. Because when you look at you probably didn't get to get in this truth when you was a young lad, you know? So Lord willing, this was edified to the hopeful elect through faith, right? So all praise to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, Bahasham Yahawashi. And with that, Shalom.